friends, teachers and children. Again, I am Mr.Rao, a senior faculty in English language. Presently, I am residing in Visakhapatnam. I have already told you about my experience. I have taught for all the competitive exams, 10th class, intermediate, degree. And having rich experience in teaching English language and grammar, I have come up today with another topic, that is the past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense is an extension of past perfect tense, and its structure is had, which is the helping verb, which is the past of have, and been, be form, and present participle, that is ing form. So had been, ing form, that is had been living, had been working, had been staying, had been studying, had been helping. So in this way, we use the helping verb had. Okay, had is the helping verb or the auxiliary verb which helps the main verb to form a perfect tense. And be form helps the ing form to form a continuous tense. That's why we have used here one main verb, that is living or working, that is main verb, and we have used two helping verbs here. And had helps the main verb to form a perfect tense, and had is past, that's why it is a past perfect tense. And be form helps this present participle or ing form to form a continuous tense. So it is had is past perfect, be form plus ing form continuous. This is what is called past perfect continuous tense. If we want to make it negative, we will put not immediately after had. So had not been living, had not been working, had not been disturbing. In this way, we can form affirmative sentence or negative sentence. Okay, now where this past perfect tense is used? First of all, it is used for an action that began in the past. So that action must begin in the past and continued for some time. It did not stop there. Suppose living started in 2005 and it did not stop there. It had continued, suppose, for 5 years or 10 years. So 2005 passed and continued. Then we have to use past perfect tense. But it was also continuing at the given past time also. So suppose you have given 2010, at that time also that action continues, then we have to use past perfect continuous tense. For example, he was living in Mumbai for 5 years before 2018. So he was living, this is the verb. Was is the be form, was were. What are the be forms? Am, is, are, present tense. Was, were, past tense. Be, be, future tense. Been, perfect tenses. And being, that is continuous tenses in passive. These are the various be forms. Here, was past and living continuous is past continuous. Okay. In Mumbai for certain period. So it began before 2018. He was living in Mumbai for 5 years before 2018. So before 2018, suppose, let us see the timeline. Okay. Now we have given the time here 2018. Before that, okay, it had continued for 5 years. So 5 years ago that action began. When? In 2013. In 2013 that action began, did not stop in 2000. This is the past time that is given. Okay, that action began in the past. This is here, this living began in 2013. This is past time and continued for some time. It continued for 5 years. This continued for some time. This sometime may be years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, or decades. So that action must begin in the past, began 2013 and continued for some time, continued for 5 years. Okay, it had continued for 5 years. And what is the past time we have given? The past time is 2018. And at this, here, now we are here. At this time also, that action was going on. At this past time also, that action was going on. So, began in the past, continued for some time, and was continuing at the given past time. What is the past time given here? 2018. Here also it was continuing. Then we must use the past perfect continuous tense. We cannot use the past continuous. So this sentence is W means wrong. So what we have to use? Had been living. Had plus been plus living we have to use. We cannot use was living because that action began in the past and continued for some 5 years, and this is the past, another past time given. At this time also that action was going on. That's why we must use had plus been plus ing form. Okay, that is called past perfect continuous tense. Another example we will see. She was painting the doors for 2 hours before 7 p.m. So I went to her house at 7 p.m. Okay, that is the past time that is given. What is the past time given here? So this is the 7 p.m. Past time given 7 p.m. And before that, and she has worked for 2 hours. This is 2 hours. So here by 5 p.m. that action began. That painting action began at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. that action began and it had continued for 2 hours. Okay, at 7 also it was continuing. At 7 p.m. also it was continuing. So this action also began in the past, continued for some time, that is 2 hours, and at the given past time, what is the given past time? 7 p.m. Here also that action was going on. That's why we have to use had plus been plus painting, not was painting. Was painting is wrong and had been painting we have to use. So this is the occasion when we have to use past perfect continuous tense. What is that? Began in the past, continued for some time, and some past time again will be given. At that time also it was it is not continuing now, it was continuing at the given past time. And this is one occasion. Sometimes 2 actions will be given. 2 actions will be given, 2 tenses will be given. Suppose when one action was continuing, one action was going for some time, when in the past, not now, in the past, one action began and it was continuing, okay, for some time, when in the past, not now, in the past, then another action happened. So that action which was continuing, that is the first action, must be past perfect continuous tense, and the second action what happened, that must be in simple past tense. So now let us see when I dash join in Bank of India in 2016, my friend KP Sharma dash already dash work for 1 year. Okay, this is the question given in the examinations. So when I joined, this action was that KP Sharma working, that action was actually going on. Then this action happened. So it must be in simple past tense, JO, joined. It is V2. It must be V2 only. When I joined in Bank of India in 2016, when I joined in Bank of India in 1981, my friend KP Sharma dash, here we must write had already been working. Here work will be given. So what happened here? 1981. So in 1980, Mr. KP Sharma joined and he had been working for this 1 year. Okay, so that action, his action began in 1980 and continued for 1 year. At that time I joined. Okay, so this action must be had plus V3, but at that time in 1981 also he was working. That's why had already been working we have to use. We cannot use was working. Okay, another, when I dash reach home, the cell dash already for several seconds. Okay, when I reached home, okay, this is when I reached home. This is the second action. By that time, what happened here? The cell had already been ringing. Here the verb is given ring in brackets. So when I reached home, the cell had already been ringing for several seconds. In this way, when two actions happened, okay, one action began in the past, suppose in 1980, and it had continued for 1 year, then another action happened. Okay, another action happened in 1981, that is joining. At this time also, if this action was continuing, then we have to use had plus been plus ing form, and this must be in simple past tense. These are the various occasions when we have to use past perfect continuous tense. Okay, please watch this video, and any queries are there, please post them in the comment box and help me, okay, clarify your doubts. Thank you.